I used up another collection this time, the Bunny Trail collection from Photo Play. So let's see what I made. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. And like I said, I used the Bunny Trail collection from Photo Play. I actually used something else from other than Echo Park. That's surprising for me. I had picked this up, I believe, from a Cherry on Top. And if I can find it, I will link it down below. But I just thought it was cute. And since we're coming into spring, I went ahead and worked on some spring projects. And I used the whole collection, including bits and pieces here from the cover sheet. I started with scrapbook pages because I did have a bunch of Easter scrapbook pages from 2015 and 16 to scrapbook. So I used a couple different patterns here. I think this might have been one of the last ones I did, and I was trying to use up some of the patterns that were left. But there's two different patterns here that I just kind of grouped together to go across. I brought in a strip scrap that I had left to go across the top up here, and then I had a border sticker left that I just brought across the bottom. One of these bunnies is a sticker. The other one was fussy cut from the cover sheet. And then I believe this hippity hoppity was also cut from the cover sheet. And then I used a couple of the big stickers down here, fussy cut the eggs from the cover sheet. And then I did have some word like label stickers that I brought in from my stash just to add a little bit extra. So this is from that same year, and this is for Avery's layout. So this time I have similar layouts for Avery and Ellie. So I used like some green 12 by 12 cardstock just as a backer page this time, and then have two different patterns that I just used kind of big chunks of. This pink was just a border strip, like from one of those old border strip packs that you could get that was in my stash that I was excited to use up. And then for the title here, this was a set of the stickers from the sticker sheet, and the egg, the hippity hoppity, you are a cute chick, those were stickers, as was the bunny. This Easter bunny speckled eggs I fussy cut out of one of the 3x4 journal cards. And then I used a couple of the jelly beans. There were a bunch of like little bitty jelly beans on the sticker sheet. And so you'll kind of find where I was just trying to use those up. So even though there's really no jelly beans on my pages, I was trying to use those in place of like enamel dots or whatever. So there was another Easter sticker on the sticker sheet, so I was able to use that as my title on this one. Again, just use some stickers, and then again what I fussy cut from the journal card. And then this was also, actually this I believe was from a spring 6x6 pad that I was using up at the same time. That's what I used as my journal spot on both of those. This one was just before Easter, where we were doing some Easter prep activities, used the journal card that I had left, and was trying to use up some of them that wouldn't really fit, that I hadn't used yet, and that wouldn't really fit on a card. So I used one here and then turned one to the back side just to add like a little accent behind it, and then used up a large strip of paper going behind it, and then a couple of strips going across the middle here, and then just offset my pictures. And I used a bunch of the stickers from the sticker sheet here just to kind of accent, and then wrote my journaling directly on the yellow. I did the kind of border around like with the dots and the dashes, and then it's like, oh, kind of having fun doodling. And so I decided to doodle around my journaling, and I feel like I took it a little too far. It didn't really need all that, but that's okay. It was fun. Another version of this page for my daughter's albums, used stickers. This was, I believe, looks like I fussy cut it maybe from a journal card. And then I know I fussy cut the bunny butt from a journal card. And there was a journal card that said, "Color Me Happy," so I decided I could use that as a title for our prep activities because we were coloring eggs. Just brought in some strips for journaling here. I used a whole bunch of the little jelly bean stickers, trying to use them up, and then I have 2 bigger pieces of pattern paper kind of behind my embellishments and photos. Same thing. This time I fussy cut this from the cover sheet to match the sticker that I used on the other page. And again, fussy cut the bunnies. This one from 2016. Have a variety of pictures from Easter during the day. My journaling, I actually used a stencil, and it was for like a wood grain background. And instead of using it for that, I just kind of used it with some Distress Oxide ink, or the Tim Holtz ink, and then just kind of blended it on there just to give me some lines to do some journaling. I think I did this part back in February when, for my Facebook group, Crafting with Bourbon Creek, there was a challenge to use stencils. So that was just a different way that I had used stencils. Embellished. I didn't have any pattern paper on this page because I had so many pictures, but I did bring in some stickers to accent and used Egg Hunt kind of as my main title, and then a bunch of those jelly beans that I was trying to use up. So this one, I have a yellow, these both have a yellow cardstock background, and used the Hunt is On. This was a journal card cut apart that I used for my title. And then Easter Sunday was fussy cut out of another journal card. The journal spot here was from that 6x6 spring pad that I was using from Echo Park, and then it just kind of decorated with a bunch of stickers from the sticker sheet. I liked that little floral garland up there. Same thing, I just used some different stickers here, and this was one of the border stickers that I cut in half, so half was on this layout, half was on the last one. Again, just use some different stickers. And then this was the sticker sheet, and the only 2 I have left were spring related, and I had already done a bunch of spring layouts, and so I didn't have any other like non-Eastery spring ones to do. So I figure I will just cut these out and save those in my stash, and I can use them on some projects going forward. So I had some cut aparts left that I thought might make some cute blocks. So if you followed me for a while, you know that my husband and I have a craft business. We make decorative blocks to sell, and one of the things that we really like to do is to make reversible holiday blocks. So I took one of the Easter cut aparts, and then I believe this green is from maybe an Echo Park Dots and Stripes that I also had on my desk at the time. And so I just trimmed down my Easter cut apart and then trimmed a piece of the green dot pattern to kind of create a full like frame around it. So these blocks are, I believe, about 4.5 inches tall by 3.25 inches wide. So I just kind of trimmed my pieces to fit, and then if you turn them over, there was a spring cut apart in the collection as well, so I used that for this side with a spring pattern that was actually from the Photo Play collection. So some cute little blocks that you can use for Easter spring decoration. And I had also made 2 of these, one of them already sold at a craft show, but this was a bunny that I fussy cut out one of the bigger, there was a bunch of 4x6 journal cards in this collection. And so I had fussy cut out the bunnies and just put them peeking out on this little bitty block. And this block, I believe, is about 2x3. And all of these blocks are just 2x4s that were cut down and sanded and stained. So I just kind of put her on there, and then all of my paper were put on the blocks using Mod Podge. So then I did do a bunch of cards. And like I said, there were a bunch of the 4x6 cut-aparts. And so at this point, I kind of just wanted to be done. And so I just put these on some white card bases and did try and dress up the cut-apart, but I didn't do any layers behind the cut-apart. So I just put the cut-aparts. I believe my card bases are like 4.5 by 6.5. And there are either cardstock or pattern paper strips on the inside of them all. So these, I just use vinyl stickers that I had, and then some punches from my stash on that one. This one I didn't really do anything but add some Wink of Stella onto the Happy Easter letters. That for both of those. This one it didn't have a sentiment, so I did bring in a stamp, Happy Easter, and then just some vinyl stickers on these, just in different colors. This one I added a couple little flower punches down here at the bottom and a butterfly punch up there. Same. These was just trying to use up scraps of paper that I had and then any of the cut-aparts that I didn't use. And was also trying to go through my stash of, like, I have a whole bunch of vinyl scraps that I had cut some bunnies out of in the past. And so that's what this is. A little white bunny with a little turquoise bow, and then just brought in 2 scraps of paper, Happy Easter sentiment, and then just kind of backed it on orange. And then there is a vinyl strip that goes to kind of cover the seam here of the 2. And those, again, I cut just from scrap vinyl that I had, but they're very much like the Love from Lizzie peel-offs. And again, there are scraps on the insides of all these cards as well. Again, with the carrot and the green, this time I just turned it, oriented it in a different way, brought in some little white vinyl bunnies that I had, and then that same Happy Easter sentiment. Got to use journal cards on these. And actually this blue was the back side of one of the 4x6 cards. And so I just trimmed it down and turned it into like a card mat size, and then layered 2 different cut-aparts, the back side of one and then the front side. This one I fussy cut from the collection cover sheet, and then this one was a sticker. This was a journal card, and liked the little bunny butt peeking out of the pot there, and just layered it on. Again, I believe this green, actually it might have been from the collection. I believe there was a green pattern on the B side from the collection. So, and then this tulip basket pattern was actually from the spring collection from Echo Park. Like I Love Spring or whatever that collection was that I used in February for my small pad. I had that left over and was able to incorporate it in with my cards. There are 2 of these. I did just the cut apart, and I liked how it's just like the butterfly, but it did say Easter wishes and butterfly kisses. Kind of layered it up. This is another one of the back sides of a 4x6 cut apart. And then one of these butterflies is a sticker, and the other one is, I believe this one was cut from the collection cover sheet. So I like when I can cut from the cover sheet, like fussy cut from the cover sheet. I like when the images are big enough that it's very similar to the sticker images. So I did have 2 of the little bunny butts. And then was just kind of working with the random bits and pieces that I had left. So I had some random scraps here that I just kind of grouped together, and I believe they were very similar in width, and so I did have to cut the jelly bean so that you could see it from both sides behind that polka dot pattern. And then just went on some plain blue cardstock this time and did do a white pin stitching around the edge. And then these eggs were just some stickers in my stash that I was excited to be able to use. Cut apart that I just added a little Happy Easter, almost like a sign sitting there at the top of the basket, and then brought in a couple different scrap pieces here, kind of layered them behind the cut apart on that tulip basket paper. These are scraps that I just kind of grouped together. This is a card sketch, and I apologize I don't have it with me. but it's one I use quite often. It's an Operation Right Home sketch, and these are like 1 3/4 by 2-inch rectangles, and you just kind of group them together. I brought in a sentiment down here, backed it on green, and then the bunny here is just was cut out of some vinyl scraps that I had. And then this is Operation Right Home Sketch 154. I do know that one because I use it absolutely all the time. Great for the smaller pieces that you have left. Cut them down to 1.5-inch squares, backed it on some white cardstock that is a 3.5-inch square, and then just layered up some die cuts here with my Easter Blessings sentiment. Brought in a die cut egg from my stash down here, and that's it. So I got a bunch of cards, some decorative blocks, and then whole bunch of Easter themed scrapbook pages. So, and I think I actually got this collection fairly recently, maybe at the end of 2021. So it's not been in my stash for very long, but I did want to use something different for once because I feel like I always use Echo Park. So I just kind of wanted to mix it up for myself and for you guys. So I was excited to include this one, but another collection down. Again, if I can find Bunny Trail, I will link it down below for you. And I hope you guys got some inspiration on using up an Easter collection that might be in your stash. But I thank you guys so very much for your time and hope you all have a very crafty day.